Right, Assalamualaikum Zharif. Now I'm gonna look at your work. This is what we have. I'm gonna point out the good thing. The good thing is that you started with a nice black and white flat design and slowly build up your work, putting in more colors, and finally we end up with some visuals. But what's not good is that you realize later on that, you know, because of the visuals, the colors kind of they don't really work with what you have. So I guess that's a big thing you can take home. The fact that it's good to think of things in terms of black and white and move on to colors, and then finally complete it with visuals. But you have to remember also visuals also, for instance, this guy here, they have colors on it, and it's a matter of picking out the right visuals to go with your color scheme. So yeah, anyways, let's just move on to the critic. So I'm going to assume this is the finished one, so let me just bring it over into Photoshop. Right. Cool. Now this is a bit hard to a lot of, not to say that it's not working. Okay. See, you're trying to juxtapose this, okay? This is what I'm talking about. Just create a new layer. Hold on. Okay. What you were trying to do is, you see this guy here? This is supposedly the city and the population, civilization, and all the bad things that human brings, and you're trying to juxtapose it with this thing here, which is the beautiful reef. That's a nice idea that you're trying to put in your poster. It's just that the fact that, you know, what we see here, all the city stuff here, it looks too clean. It doesn't look ugly. It does look like a city skyline, that kind of, if I understand you right, it kind of says this is civilization and human. Right. So it just looks too clean to me. It doesn't look like this is pollution. If it had more stuff like I don't know, like rubbish and smog and let me just sample this, like all the fumes and bad stuff, and just to make it look messy and dirty and kind of represent that this is the negative stuff from humans. Hold on. Right, so even though I kind of get what you're trying to do, it's just that it's not really obvious that you're trying to say that. You're trying to say, this is our reef, it's pretty much beautiful, but the way you juxtapose, you kind of contrast it with the city, it's not working for me. But I think the concept is good, and therefore I think you should keep this concept. So I'm gonna say, let me just get a different color, keep this concept, okay? Alright, so another good thing about your poster is that it's this. See all these reefs, the way you composite all these visuals, this nice reef, this stuff, that it looks very nice and clean. Plus, we have this human diver looking at the reef. It's nice. What you have here is nice. It's just what you need to do is perhaps make it nicer. And what I mean by that is, when we think about coral reefs, and let me just bring up image about it. Normally, in general, we think about colors. Yeah, we think about colorful stuff like this, or this, and it looks very pretty. But how do we, how do we kind of have that in our poster? Since plus the pictures that Reef Check gave us was not that pretty. Now that's a bit hard. I mean, it's a bit hard to kind of start coloring this thing and make it pretty like this. Plus, and it's also hard to kind of enhance on what you already have from the Reef Check images and make it pretty like this too. Now, but I'm pretty sure if you can, kind of start getting creative with colors and whatnot, you can probably tweak this image and make it look awesome. One tip is probably use this as a masking element. Maybe it might work, it might not. And with that, I think this is what you need to do. Okay, hold on. Before I move on, what we're talking about is just this portion of the design and not the entire thing. Okay, just for now. Why I have a point for that in a bit. Anyway, I'm gonna try to tweak this image so that you can understand what I'm trying to do, or what I kind of think will work better. It's something like you have all this nice reef, right? And it's kind of probably that big. I don't know about that. Yeah. Okay, and then you have this guy. Let me just get it out of the way. It should look kind of like that as well. Alright. I hope you kind of understand what I'm trying to do here. Tell you what, let me just copy that. Okay. Hold on, just bear with me. I have a point here. There's something like that. Let me just kind of go here and sample that color, make that big. Something like, if you get what I mean. Wrong layer. Right. Something like that. Yeah. It's something like this. Imagine that. Imagine that this part is kind of the surface, and then you have all this nice coral that sits beneath. Again, this image here could be enhanced and make to look like like more like pollution and whatnot. And probably a tip is to use the stock photos, or rather the photos that Reef Check has supplied you with, or tweak this so that it doesn't look just like a skyline, like a bit. It's kind of like a beautiful skyline. It looks like KL. It is KL, by the way, but it's it looks pretty. It looks very marketable. It doesn't look like this is smog and all the things I was talking to you about earlier. Okay, so if you can, let me just write it there. Strengthen this image. This. Okay, so that's another tip. Alright. I mean, this kind of, I don't know, it feels nicer this way. And then you can have probably fishes here and turtles and whatnot. I don't know. It's up to you to decide on that. Okay, so let me just hide all this again. We're gonna talk about the other thing, which is our friend here down here. See, when you look at it on the outset, it's what I want to talk to you about now is actually your font. I mean, all your text placement. Yeah. Okay, let me just undo that. Okay, first things first. The selection of font is a bit, how to say it? Let me just hold on, canvas size with, okay, what, 15? No. I need to write something on the side. What, 30, whatever. Okay, all right. Number one, it's the selection of font. You gotta fix that. Selection of font. Okay, what I see here, I'm not sure what font you're using, but it does look like very much that it is something similar to Comic Sans. And let's just quickly do that so that we'll, do I even have Comic Sans? Yes, I do. Okay, let's give it a try. I'm gonna try and type our reef, our future. Make it really big. Okay, it is Comic Sans. Okay, now have you ever did research about Comic Sans? Comic Sans is this font that, how to say, in the graphic design world, Comic Sans is one of those fonts that you just try to avoid. If possible, never use it at all, because it's been used too much in all sorts of media, and it looks very amateurish. What is this? Hold on, let me just go back. But you can read all sorts of things about Comic Sans and how a lot of graphic designers tend to avoid it, and it looks very see what's so wrong with Comic Sans. It is kind of how to say, if you know how to use it, it's fine. But for a professional graphic designer, the first thing when they see a design that uses Comic Sans, they would go like, oh, okay, this guy haven't done his research or something. I'm sorry that I'm saying this. It's just, I guess you need to know that. Anyway, let's just add this again. Now, I think there's some problems when you're laying out the the wordings here. Our reef, our future. It's nice that our reef sits with the reef, and that's good. And then you have a negative space here, which you decide to put our future, but it kind of got left hanging just like that. And then technically you would have something here, but you have nothing here that kind of balances this part of the design, of the layout of the font. Yeah, so probably you need to rethink that. And perhaps if you kind of go back, you lay out things like how I did earlier, perhaps you would come up with a better layout. So that's that. The other thing is, hold on, let me just check my time. That's 13 minutes so far. Anyway, let me just read this. City of Fishes and City of Humans. Let's take care of them both together today for a better and terrific tomorrow. It's good. What I'm saying is, it's good that you brought in some copywriting, that you actually created some copywriting here. But it needs a lot of tweaking as well. It feels like tergantung, the City of Fishes and the City of Humans. There's no apostrophe, there's no dot there or whatever, and it feels like, I mean, it's not even a big, if it was a let me just get this. Imagine this, if this was a headline or something like that, something that big, something like that. And maybe that will work, and then you have all this text running down along here just to describe, that might work. But right now as it is, it feels like, it's the same paragraph, and it feels like, this should be a different headline. You know what I'm saying when I talk about headline is, let me just get a nice poster for us to analyze. When I talk about, there it is. When I talk about headlines, it's this. When you see something like that, see, that's your headline: in danger of disappearing. I mean, this can be anything. Could be our reef, our future, isn't it? And then you have your copywriting kind of sits down there. It doesn't have to be a lot. It's just enough to kind of strengthen the visuals that you have going on here. Okay? All right. And therefore, care needs to be taken on how you lay out those texts. Right now, just look at this. This is working. Why? Because we clearly see that the WWF logo is here. Cool, that's not in the way of our design. And then it blends well with the background. Your reef check has a blue color. Preferably, the background should be kind of blue as well. Imagine, like, if you kind of tweak the photo, like, I don't know, something like, maybe put not that, sorry, I'm trying to kind of show you in the fastest way I could sample that. Imagine this was kind of bluish, and then it kind of gradually, no, it's not working, kind of saturation like that. No. Okay, this is kind of working, but the point I'm trying to make is this. Imagine you have this logo there, and it kind of sits kind of like that, and well, something like that, yeah, and then it blends well with the image. Then that might work, rather than slapping a logo just like that and on top of a turtle. It's like as if you're cutting the turtles. So we don't want that. Okay, you gotta kind of really think about how you lay out the image. And notice how, if you look at the logo, let's look at it again. Okay, it has like a, if I can zoom in really big, do you see that that's white there? I mean, you have blue, light blue, and then there's a grayish thing here going on. That's because Reef Check didn't give us a really high res and quality logo. But it is your job to kind of, if you can, I know they say do not mess around with the logo, but right now what we have is a logo with a grayish line at the top, and that's due to I'm not sure what. But you can, if you can, try to fix that. Just take out the grayish thing. I mean, that's not part of the design, and you can omit it entirely. Yeah, and therefore you wouldn't have something like this. Imagine. Okay, that was my black. So let me just let's delete that. Okay, imagine you kind of took the logo from the file, and right, it's gonna look like that, but it still looks a bit chacha because we have that gray line. Yeah, I don't think that they mind if you take out the gray thing. Yeah, so I mean, just do a simple thing like that and take it out. It still works. It looks nice. It looks like you know what you're doing. The judges will look at that and say that, oh, okay, you're pretty careful with your design, and you pay attention to the small details and fix something like that. I mean, you can do that. I don't think they're gonna penalize you for that. Anyway, I'm gonna say that this part here, it kind of feels clever, but it also feels, how to say, cheesy, if you know what it means. Cheesy, like I mean, it feels also mixed. What I mean by that is you're trying to deliver a message here. It says that let's take care of them both together today for a better and terrific tomorrow. Um, you know, no. You know how you could use terrific just to signify that you're going with a cheerful tone, yeah. But in general, your poster, it doesn't seem like you're trying to express a joyful or a whimsical tone to it, if you know what I mean. How to say? If you kind of use doodles and make it fun and it feels like it's aimed towards kids, perhaps using terrific there will work. But right now it doesn't feel like, it feels like terrific here is kind of a bit out of place in this poster here. Yeah? Okay, cool. Okay, and the last thing that I want to talk about is, so that's selection of font. It's also layout. I think layout is like the biggest thing that you really need to take care of. I'm not saying what I did earlier was terrific, but okay, I'm just gonna bring this up. Hold on. Is that it? No. Is it? Okay. I'm not saying that this is the greatest poster in the world, but what I'm trying to say is, it feels a bit more. Oops, sorry. It feels like there's some structure to it. Means that there's a flow of things. That's the reason why I make it diagonal. I mean, it means something. What I mean by that is this. See, it's that, right? It's not a straight line. It's not either that. And the reason for that is that I'm saying that when it's diagonal, there's meaning in diagonal shots. It's called the Dutch angle. In movies, whenever you see something like that, a Dutch angle, it kind of signifies that something bad is going to happen. And this is, in the realm of visual literacy. Like, what does it mean when you tilt the camera diagonally? See, there it is, the Dutch angle. It means that something's bad is going to happen, or it's gonna be haywire in the next minute. So Dutch angles mean something, and we're trying to say that everything's gonna go bad if you don't take care of things. So I use a Dutch angle to kind of represent the design. There's a nice layout here that's going on. It's just we need to figure out where to lay out the text. And I have a feeling if we kind of use this space, or probably there's the headline there somewhere up there. Our Reef, Our Future, I don't know. That's your headline, and that's where your text goes. It will work, and somewhere there, or maybe or rather this part here, it's only that much. Let's just do that, and then we have our reef check. Let me just bring that up. Mr. Reef check. Yeah. Okay. Stop. Somewhere there. Of course, yeah. Bearing in mind that you need to kind of play around with the colors a bit around. Something like that. I'm not saying this is what you need to do, but it's similar to that. Okay. And also bearing in mind that probably the background could be contrasted with the Reef Check logo. It could blend in as well. It's up to you. It's just we want this to show. We don't want it to kind of fade or something. Okay, well, yeah, it does feel empty here, isn't it? So that's why you need to kind of play around with the sizing as well. There's lots of things you can do actually. These photos that were given by Reef Check, I saw one of you guys kind of did something cool with the, and I can't remember who was it. No. Did you do it, Nabiha? No. Who did it? Who did it? Who did it? Sim? Uda? Did you do it, Uda? No. Ah. Shafiq? Tell me you did it. No. Nasha? Did you do it? No. Now where is that thing? Probably Sim. Sim just submitted. I don't think it was her. Oh, that's nice. Anyway, gosh, I can't figure out who. But anyway, one of you did something with the images and kind of had lots of bottles and whatnot, and you kind of cleverly used Photoshop to kind of composite all the images and make it look very nice at the top here, and it kind of goes down there, something like that. So you can do something with the images that were given to you and kind of produce something to kind of represent the pollution that comes from the top. And probably this thing could be moved down a bit more. Where is it? Okay, it's probably not that high. Maybe, I don't know, this high, or maybe this guy goes up, you know, whatever. Okay, so that's pretty much it for my critique. Going back to what we did earlier, selection of fonts is important, and how you lay out things is also important. What am I doing? Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much it for my critique. And also, actually, it's this also. It's this. It's quite big actually, and it is called contrast. And if you don't contrast the images, what I mean by that, like, you know, a nice reef here. Let's just get a prettier color, a nice, you know, it's all positive and beautiful and colorful, you know. So that's the image you're going for here, and then you contrast it with this ugly, dirty stuff that comes from above, and that will work. It kind of delivers the message home pretty straightforward. Yeah, so if you can work on that, and that's, I've talked, I guess, close to half an hour, so I hope you got something out of that and can use it to improve your design. So all the best, good luck, Zharif. Assalamualaikum.